client.
And Brandon just finished a potential sales call. That was not your ideal client?
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Totally comfortable. Leads me to a great segue into our 5-day #Confidence to Rise challenge. I feel like it's kind of dark in this room, yeah?
Yeah, it is, because it's nice and gloomy outside. This is the best time to be getting it on with your sales calls. Oh yeah, bring it in. Bring it in. You know what? The best time to connect with people is when it's rainy outside. Seriously. Because they can't go anywhere. I mean, we're kind of on house arrest anyways. But, I mean, a lot of people have been going outside, too.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of us at home right now, super comfortable. And I got way out of my comfort zone yesterday, Sunday.
We both did.
Well, we did. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying what I did.
We made a lot of
Can I
calls.
please talk about me for once?
All right. Okay.
Just kidding. Deb's the queen here. She's the queen. She owns it all.
Thank you.
I love you. So
you're the king.
So there's a lot of us.
Your Highness.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of us.
Your Highness.
There's a lot of us that are at home right now, and we're not sure what's going to go on. We don't know how this is going to last. We're super uncertain. We got to get out of our comfort zone, folks. We have got to take massive action, right?
Now's the time.
There are some things that we looked at our business and we said, okay, hello, could this last 60 days? Could this last 90? We don't think so, but we don't know. So, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know the future. I don't have a crystal ball. Get this out of my hand. But are we prepared for this to go on for another 30 to 60 days or longer? Like, we don't know. So here's the thing. In our business, in our relationships, we've got to take some massive action, start reaching out, connecting people. If we haven't done videos and videos would get us out of our comfort zone,
then do it.
Then let's do it, right? If making sales calls, making follow-up calls, connection calls to our database and our list, if we aren't doing it, when the fuck are we going to do it?
Now is the time to connect with people.
And here's the thing, guys. I made 42 calls yesterday. I came away with 8 solid leads, and I haven't made real estate calls in a while to cold for sale by owner leads for my business in California. Literally made sales calls from here for California. Connected with 8 people with a potential revenue conservatively between $3,000 to $5,000 over the next 7 to 10 days. That took me 3 hours worth of work. 3 hours worth of work. And so I want to invite you guys to some new tasks, some new opportunities that most people haven't looked at. If you're a coach, if you've done networking, if you have business cards laying around, start to reach out and connect with people with your heart. Tell them how you doing, ask them what's going on. Say, hey, how are your concerns for this market? How's your family doing? How's your business? What's challenging? What's going on? When you connect with your heart and you ask and really care about what people are going on, you can help so many more people get out of their mess. I just talked to a gentleman on the phone. He is super comfortable. He's lost his job and he has no idea. I said, can you financially withstand the next 90 days? He said, yeah, I can withstand 90 days. I said, how about beyond that? He said, no, probably not. And it's like,
that's where a lot of people are right now.
If 90 days is your threshold, how do we raise that thermostat to where it's like, okay, I can last 6 months of this? And I'm not saying you have to, but the mindset needs to be like rock solid. What if, right? It's a little bit away from motivated. It's a little bit of fear there. Yes, we have that same feeling. And it's like, okay, what do we need to do right now so that our runway is longer? We got more runway, right? I mean, we don't want to see anybody go through a financial hardship because of the fucking virus, let alone our own mindset that actually is the virus that's keeping us repressed and not taking action right now when we absolutely need to be reaching out to clients, calling people and talking to them.
And the virus is the fear porn that's going on, that people are freezing up. They're not having financial transactions. They're not buying the things that they normally would buy, and it's affecting our economy. So it's your job to get out there and reframe people and literally continue to stimulate the economy, because the government's not going to do it for us. It's our responsibility to get out there and solve problems and to really help and serve each other and to collaborate and strategically partner up, because create a list of all the people that are in your industry, and you could be reaching out to those people, creating a network of people that we're working together. This is how we're going to be sustainable with our economy, is the grassroots people standing up for what they believe in, what they know they're here to serve for, and coming together and creating ideas for the economy to continue to thrive.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
So that's what I did Sunday, and I've been doing Saturday, and the day before that, I've been calling people that have been on the top of my mind, people that I want to, I know, I love it,
Michael.
People that I've been missing to connect with. I've been calling past clients. I've been calling people like you and just checking in to see how's it going, see if there's an opportunity for collaboration, see if there's an opportunity for us to help and serve you with our product or service. If there isn't, then that's okay too. We're all here to literally support each other, to bounce ideas off each other. Do you realize that that's what sales is? It's collaboration, creation, and it's strategy. It's us coming together with two minds and strategizing together to problem solve, because we've gotten ourselves into a pickle, folks. We literally got ourselves into a universal fucking pickle, and it's our time to start thinking for ourselves, critically think, put on our problem solving hats, getting creative, and start taking massive action. And the best way to do that is pick up your phone. The best way to do that is to pick up your phone.
Fortune always favors the brave and never helps a man who does not help himself.
So
it's so true right now. Could be so much true. It's just,
and
it's literally our reality.
And I don't know
Gina,
about,
how's it going?
Hey,
Clayton,
Gina,
Jennifer.
it's so good to see you.
Cool.
And I don't know about you,
What's
but
up?
every single time that
Claudia
I've gotten
Taylor,
on
Roxy,
a call,
Alicia, Brian
that
Johnson.
Honestly, I've been
Christina.
having some of the best conversations of my life.
Hey,
I've been
hey.
hearing some of the most amazing things come out of other people that I'm collaborating with. I've heard amazing solutions. I'm getting real time the pulse of really what's going on in the human consciousness every time I make a call.
Totally.
And so a lot of the stuff that's being spit out there in the media, and I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm just saying I've been talking to people here on planet Earth, and they are literally looking at this as an evolution. They are looking at it as how can we all individually do our part to transform the planet and the ripple effect and stimulate the economy.
Got some passion on Monday.
Yes.
Yes, you do, baby.
Yes, I do.
Passionate Monday is what this is.
Passionate Monday.
Day 5 sales challenge.
Get out there and help and serve.
Hashtag confidence to rise. So hey, we want to hear some feedback from y'all that are doing the challenge.
How's it
Whoever is.
going?
How's it going? What are you guys feeling? What are you guys up against?
What are you learning from this process?
This is day 5.
Yes.
We're more than halfway there. And who found that Sunday was a very successful and productive day? Because I
did.
I wasn't shocked, but I was actually pleasantly surprised how many people from cold calls wanted to stay on the line with me because they're like, oh my God, somebody else I could talk to other than my spouse. I had a lady, she was like, she's like, oh my God, another human being. She's like, let's chat. And I was like, I know, me too, right? I was like, I've been in house arrest with my wife this whole time. And she's like, oh my God, it's like my husband, like, when will he shut up? And I was laughing. I was like, damn.
I know. I came downstairs
so
to get
funny.
some water, and Brandon's downstairs and he has this little hole where he likes to make his sales calls. And I'm like, how's it going? And he's like, people are so nice right now. They're like, the first time that I've actually done cold calls and people actually want to talk to me. They're they're doing anything they can to get a distraction, to get a relief from their situation. Do you realize that you are calling them and giving them a freaking lifeline because they just need something to pattern interrupt them from what's going on?
Even if you're making business sales calls,
Yeah.
it's like, will you be my coach? Because I need to talk to somebody other than my spouse and my kids. And
that's not part of the problem.
That's not part of the environment that I currently live in. So it's funny.
Oh, it's so good. I realized that Sunday.
Yes, Gina.
Yes, Sundays are super successful.
Taylor.
I like to call them super successful sales Sunday.
I normally take Sunday off. I'm switching that right now. Boom.
Maybe take off a Monday or a Wednesday or whenever
You know, we
want
don't say you have to work every Sunday, but listen, we find that Sundays can be one of our most productive days, and it's definitely a day that we carve out at least a 2-hour window to like really look at the next week and what does our next 7 days look like.
So who's to say that you can't switch it up once in a while?
Yeah,
Maybe
take Friday off and then work Sunday.
If you want to target Sundays as a day for you to go out and reach and connect and therapeutically help and serve people through selling your product or service, we're not even doing that because, again, the sales call is a coaching call. then do that and switch it up and see how it feels. Maybe take your Sunday for planning on Monday instead.
That's right.
I do know people that do that on Monday instead. They have their off day Monday.
Christina, how you doing? You're a coach, and you are in Romania, yeah? So how you doing? Reach out to us. Tell us how you're doing with sales calls. I think Hannah's actually here, babe.
Oh, cool. We miss our Hannah. Yeah. So let us know how's it going. And how many calls did it take for you to connect with 20 or 25 people? I always think this is very super interesting because a lot of us that haven't done a lot of sales volume, that you miscalculate how many people you're actually going to reach out to actually have that many people on the phone. I also noticed that Sunday people answer their phone more, which was interesting. I don't know if it was because it's an interesting Sunday and a time to be alive. That's why people were answering more. I do notice that people do answer on Sunday. So, and you may find that you get all your callbacks today on Monday. So start tracking this stuff so you can start planning out your schedule based upon when is the best time to connect with your typical avatar, your typical client. So let us know how's it going. When do you need support?
Just remember right now, these small little efforts, these small little habits that we're building in, whether it's reaching out, the follow-up calls, maybe it's just reaching out by email, text message, saying hi on Facebook. These little tiny efforts done daily, they add up to huge growth, huge results in 90 days. Like, I can't tell you, just imagine this. What if you had 2 days a week where you reached out and made 40 plus calls? Maybe you did 35, 40 calls and you touched 15 new humans.
Or you talked to 20 people.
Or you talked to 20 to 25. The goal and the whole point of this challenge is to say, what if we didn't even do it every day? Obviously, we're doing it daily for 8 days. But what if we just did 1 or 2 times a week that we made those extra effort calls and just tore it up, blew it up, right? Reached out to all these people and we connected with 15 humans or more.
Think how much traction
Think about how much traction you'd have in 30 days.
Exactly.
In 60 days or 2 months or a quarter. Like, you would literally add $40,000 or $50,000 bottom line revenue at the end of the year. And we don't think about this like it's so easy to say, oh, I'm comfortable and I don't want, it's raining, I can't go outside, the sun's not out.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. The victim part comes out of all of us at some point. We get it. We have tools to let this stuff go.
And it's your job to get back on track very quickly. And the best way to pop yourself out of victim consciousness is get out there and help and serve. And that's why we do sales calls.
Yes.
I love it. I love what Gina said. And I actually connected with Gina yesterday
from Romania
when she was prep cooking her meals for the week. And we caught up and we had an amazing call. It was transformational. I love it.
It's interesting how Sunday we had longer conversations than usual.
Yes.
I was a little surprised by that.
Had longer
Christina,
conversations. I love that,
step by step.
Absolutely.
Got blood work done for another NYL account too. Little steps. Good, Michael. Gina, LOL, I need a housekeeper.
I know,
that was
girlfriend.
One of the,
well, that's one of
I
our
had
two
so much traction right now, current, sit, and all. Yeah. I know, like, you want your house cleaner to come because you want to support him or her, and it's like, at the same time, it's like, you know.
Well, and it's also
quarantine.
time blocking, too. I don't want to spend time cleaning right now.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
So it's been
Sam, Chris, what's going on?
Yeah.
Love that call. So think about that as these little disciplines, like what that would do if we just made that a habit, and it's habitual. You're just jumping on. We're talking about day 5.
And part of this is debunking your beliefs around when is the best time to call people, too, because I know a lot of people that are like, no, I would never call somebody on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm like, really? Why not? What if that was the best time of the week and you were going to make the most money and profit in your business, and you would also help and serve people when they're actually open to listening without all the other chatter of what they're supposed to be doing throughout the week? What if that's the best time? Would it be a good idea to schedule around it and then have your day of rest and renewal Monday and Tuesday? Why not?
And for those of you just jumping on, I made a lot of calls, made 42 plus calls yesterday. I'm not sure, there were some numbers that didn't really connect, but I had like probably 18 at least solid conversations. 8 solid leads
Yeah.
came from that. I'm not bragging. I'm
She
actually
has an auto dialer too, so
I'm saying this to help you guys realize there are systems out there to make your calling more efficient, make it more fun, and so you can get better results because you get in a groove and you can actually refine your script and get better at communication, how to talk to people. And I say this because I'm inspiring those that think right now you cannot make calls over a weekend or during whatever. I've had so many people in different industries, coaching, in real estate, insurance, financial, say they don't think calls will work. And I just go, how do you know when you don't make volume calls? And I'm talking volume calls would be at least 500 to 600 calls in a 30-day period. When you make those kind of calls, you learn a lot. You open up your mind to possibilities and opportunities that you never ever saw. And you connect with human beings all across the nation, even international, that you want to know how they're doing and what's life like on their side of the planet, right?
Yeah.
What's their perspective of going on in the market? I love grabbing that data. I'm a data,
data
I want
nerd.
more information, because information and that knowledge can definitely lead us to making better decisions, better choices, and it's so much more effective in our life to have that knowledge and help others.
I totally agree. And it's so important for us to do that. And it's the more that we learn from others and what the pulse is that's going on in the real economy, which is the human beings that we connect with, the better that we can prepare ourselves for the future that we're co-creating together. So I didn't use the auto dialer. So Brandon has a system. So it's going to be a little bit more time consuming when you one off it. And I think I got through like 25 different calls, but I got on the phone and had deep conversation with at least 11 people yesterday. And it was amazing. I felt energized. I felt good. I learned some stuff. I transformed. I sold some stuff. So it was really, really fun. Sunday Fun Day. I'm like reinventing Sunday Fun Day.
Who found it energizing to connect with people? I was not drained after these calls. I was inspired. I was full of energy. I was actually happier. It took me, Claudia, about 3.5 hours to connect. I took a break in between, grabbed a snack, and then went right back to it. But I would say I definitely got more voicemails, I think, than I usually would. But it's cool because I can call those voicemails now today and tomorrow. And so those voicemails just keep getting wrapped up into calls.
And know that you may be
Tony's in the
reaching
house.
out to a lot of people. So
Carl
a lot of the people
Hines is in the house.
A lot of the people that I didn't actually have the telephone
What's up,
conversation with, then I planted the seeds for this week. So I have about 4 appointments that are booked for an actual virtual coffee date. So just know that if you're not connecting with them right away, if it does go to voicemail, you leave a voicemail and then they send back a text, and you can text back and forth. Hey, when's the next time for us to connect? And then send them a Calendly link, or go ahead and book a call there to where then you can have a virtual coffee with them, which is even more powerful because you get to see their face. So just know that there's all different ways.
Thanks, Gina. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you soon in the hypnosis training. Woo! This weekend, the first virtual
It's going to be fun.
hypnosis training. So, yeah. So know that if you didn't get to have those 20 connections, that's okay. At least you're planting the seeds for this week for success as well. If you had 1 or 2 live conversations on the phone, it is a success. So the point of this is to learn through the process. We're not looking so much, you got 25 people.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's great if you did. And we're also looking for these deep conversations where you're connecting, you're helping, you're serving, you're creating an opening for an opportunity for transaction, but you're also planting the seeds for future conversations. It may be not going to happen right now. Maybe it won't happen this week. Maybe it will happen the following week. The point being is that you're creating that connection to then harvest the crops later on.
And here's what we found is when you do these small little efforts done daily, they add up with compound interest for all my financial gurus on the video. It's amazing how that action creates a ripple effect, and then the reaction is you get business from other places that you didn't even expect. Referrals come out of the woodwork, right? People reach out to you all of a sudden from your website or Facebook. And so the action that you take by doing these small little steps, these little efforts done daily, it's amazing what it does. So
it's also integrity too, especially if you're a coach.
Boom.
You are staying in integrity when you're doing these calls because you're proactively taking action, and your clients, you expect them to take action. So it's you yourself must do the same.
We're doing the challenge because we do this often. And we think that if we brought everybody in the community into this challenge, we'd be like, hey, you know what? This is one of the reasons why we get the results we get, is because we know how to build rapport. We're able to go out, confidently make sales, and ask for business.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should be able to do that, especially in a market right now. We absolutely have to be brave, confident, and have the courage to do that.
Yeah. We're doing our own medicine.
The reason why I say volume calls, and the reason why we've kind of done this the way we have, because volume solves a lot of challenges. Listen. When you're struggling to make 1 or 2 calls, it's easy to get down in the dumps if those calls don't go well. But when you get in a groove of 10, 15, 25 calls, you start to say, you know what? This isn't as bad as I used to think it was. Right? Like, I mean, just like learning anything for the first time. How many people struggled to learn Zoom the first time? Like, what is this new system? Right? And so that's what calls is how do we continue to effort at it so that we get good, we get confident, we say the right things when we know we need to say it. We're confident with language. We start to think with a critical, open mind and be able to realize that the people that we're actually talking to are in effect. And if I can just reframe the way they think, then I can actually help that individual. And even if they've never paid me for anything, if I can just help them see the perspective from a little bit different view, a different lens than they currently do, like, it's profound that you kind of leave them with this learning, and then it's like, let that settle in, let that percolate overnight.
Totally.
And when we talk in the next few days, let me know if you've still got that same issue.
Yeah.
Right? Because
you're
we're
coaching
all
them on
in
the
this
phone.
stuff. We're all in effect.
The best coaches are great at sales because you will learn more about communication in a telephone call when it comes to sales than you will in any other experience, because you have to have flexibility in your communication style. You need to understand the psyche of people. You need to understand what behavior does what, how people behave when they get under pressure. Because remember, sales is one of the most highly triggered experience for humans. Most people do not like being sold to. And so you're going to be dealing with people's behaviors, their limiting beliefs, their doubts, their negative emotions, their money blocks, and all those things.
The money blocks, yes.
Yes.
We all talk about them. What are they?
Yeah.
So, Becca, great point. I ran into a lot of blocks yesterday, feeling better today. My ego and self-doubt and fears were coming up one after another. So ask yourself, so tell us, I love that. Share. If you're willing. What came up? Like, what was it? Was it clients or people that triggered you on the phone? Was it just being able to get back on the phone and in the groove?
Was it just the way that you were feeling? Maybe you were taking in the morphogenic field.
Was it
Maybe it was other people's shit.
Was it being used to like the Sunday lays day, fun day, but you're like, all right, I gotta get back in it. So tell us more about that, because we need some context to help understand. That's a great. And anyone else, share. If you made some calls yesterday or the day before.
Or if you didn't, what was coming up for you? What was preventing you? Because again, there's stuff that's going to be coming up. Remember, sales is a spiritual process. So what is coming up for you is coming up for a purpose. Your unconscious mind is serving it up on a plate for you to get resolution on it. So you can transform to become a stronger leader, a stronger individual, a stronger coach, a stronger entrepreneur. This right here is real-time transformation change. You're having your breakthrough right here. I was talking.
Lots of resistance last week. Good, Roxy.
I was talking in
due to the market and money blocks. Lots of resistance last week. Good. Yes, of course. So here's the thing, Roxy. Like, yeah, the market's down. Of course, people aren't like super excited. I know Michael's been buying some stock.
Well, then
buying some cheap
so
stock.
Roxy, though, I had a good conversation with Sam the other day, and she says her business is blowing up because people are wanting to get life insurance now. So is there a way for you to pivot to do an additional product for people that they're wanting right now and ride the wave of what people are looking for based upon the current environment?
And anybody else, keep commenting. I love it. I love the feedback. Give us whatever. I know there's some of you watching this right now. You want to say something? Just say it. Type it in the comments. I'd love to hear any thoughts, feelings, anything, share, a win, a failure, you need feedback, whatever. So Roxy, I mean, look, the market's down, right? And so obviously there's a lot of us that some of these bigger investors are pulling money out. They're either going to go put it somewhere else. But here's the thing. It's like you can buy more shares, and the more money you put in the market, it just means you can actually buy more shares. So when the market does go back up, which historically it always does. Has it ever not?
A train.
And so if you still keep consistently doing this, I know a gal that had millions of dollars in the bank, and in 2008, after the crash, was like, sell, sell, sell everything. She told her broker, and a friend of mine was like, no, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. And she's lost out on millions and millions of dollars of interest because she pulled out. She sold at the bottom because she freaked out. She panicked, right? So the one thing we can do to tap into the morphogenic field is not let people panic over that, because when you panic, you're paranoid, and when you're paranoid, you're going to make a terrible freaking decision, and it's not going to be in interest. So stocks are cheap, you can get in there. I get it. I'm not saying buy a bunch of stock, but for your business, you can reframe that. Life insurance, same thing. People don't know how long this is going to last.
And with Becca, literally you can tell them, hey, important, the Akashic record is the history of, it's a history of everything. Wouldn't it be beneficial for you to be able to tap into the collective consciousness of everything that has ever happened and all knowing, for you to make the appropriate decision, for you to move forward to make the right decision? Because in the Akashic records, it is the past, but there isn't anything different between the past and the future. So think about that. So for them to have access to that, to find their own intuition, their own knowing to where they can make the right decision for them and their family around money, is the most imperative thing for them to do right now, which is working with you. So there's always a way to flip it. It could even put more of an urgency of them working with you. And remember that it is your job, and it's hard too, and it's okay.
It's always
the
a
stuff
challenge.
is coming up. It is your heart. It is your job to process what's coming through, because again, you wouldn't be getting in your reality if it wasn't something already that needs to get unlocked.
And here's the thing, Warren Buffett said this, a quote, I think it was if you don't know where to invest and where to put your money, then don't. Don't invest in something you don't know. Don't invest in something, because if you invest with fear, you're going to get fear. If you invest in panic, then you're going to get panic. If you invest with opportunity, you'll get opportunity. And now is the time to invest in oneself. I know this in my heart. I got stuck in my head. Absolutely.
How specifically did you get stuck in your head too? Tell us more about that. What was happening?
What was coming up?
So we need to know the
fear,
strategy.
doubts, we get that.
We need to know how you did it in your mind.
Was
so
it
we can
someone?
help reframe you.
Was it someone that triggered you, or was it internal?
Yeah. What was the trigger that kicked it off
for you, Becca?
Yeah.
And then Anthony said, how many times do you leave a voicemail to the same person? I've left voicemails to the same person 5-6 times. You remember my truth. The truth. I will pull up the truth. We'll talk about that in a second. Roxy said, ooh, no, that's so sad for her. She should have had a better advisor. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't have a very good advisor. Michael Bird was a little bummed not making calls, but I was working yesterday delivering. But Saturday I had a guy who asked me if I considered anyone else and why I'd call him on a Saturday evening. Why not Monday through Friday? But I walked him through the fact that it's a rapport call without saying that, and he ended up saying that he does want to connect further and call him Monday. Went from I'm not trying to be a dick to give me a call Monday.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a score.
Success. Good
that's
job.
Awesome.
It's so great when you're about to get hung up on by someone, or they come on with their attitude and they're super in effect and they're just like, why are you calling me? And then you kind of loosen them up. You just massage their scalp a little bit, right? You use some language and help them out. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I'm glad you called me. Thanks for reaching out. That's what people realize. That is behavior. That's behavior at its best. By the way, don't be surprised if you call somebody and then all of a sudden you call them back and they're in a totally different behavior.
Oh, remember people's parts. They're their other side of them, the scarcity, sometimes people when they're scared, they're aggressive, and almost like the victim me part. So it just depends on the part you're talking to, and just remember having compassion, because people are not their behaviors.
People accept the person, not their behavior, right? And it's I have complete and utter compassion and respect and appreciation for you, just not your problem. I say that to clients all the time, and it just shocks them. They're like, I respect you, but however, I have no, if not little to no respect of your problem. And they go, huh? Yeah, your problem. The problem you keep talking about, the problem that we can't solve, the one that you like to carry around with you on your shoulder, that one, I don't have respect
So, Becca, those things are your gold. So, look at the list objections and then tell us what the objections are. And then we can reframe it. And then you can have a list of every protocol, essentially, of how you reframe each objection. Because there is a reframe for every objection. We talked about this in the 3-day business train. And we can help you create that to where then you're prepared. And you don't go into it with a fear charge. You go in it with a neutral, how can I help and serve? Like, you want to attack those objections because those are illusions. Those are stories that they're playing in their mind of why they can't buy, why there isn't money. Yes, we're in a story together with the environment, and it's their job to take responsibility. And by working with you is going to help them be able to move forward with their life, whatever it is for them. So create a list of them and shoot them over to us, and we can help you create new ones. I noticed that Saturday, by the end of the day, making calls, I was starting to feel very drained. I think I was giving out, giving out without open to receive. Okay, cool. So what was creating that for you? And why weren't you open to receiving? Were you actually doing coaching without asking for the order? What was going on? And that's very interesting because we weren't asking for you to actually close people. So could it be that you could go back around and connect with those people and then spark the conversation again and use all the information that you learned before and possibly close them into working with you? So let me know about that. All right, so today we're on step 5, which is perfect timing, Becca, because now for all the open plates or the spinning plates that we've opened up through this sales challenge so far, you want to go back to the list of people, those really great conversations, and see if there's an opportunity for you to, based upon the information they were giving you, if you haven't already, based upon the information that they were giving you, was there a need for your product or service? Can you truly help and serve them? And is there a doorway that you can open up to then navigate them through the end close of the sales process? Because today is the day. Today is the day for the close.
I'm looking for the truth.
So we have all 5 steps, which is build rapport, ask questions, find the need, link the need, and then go in for the close.
Ask some closing questions.
Yes.
And say, here's a couple of ways.
It's time to receive.
So let's give you some examples.
Time to receive.
It is. So is it your intentions to do business with us?
Or,
hey, with everything we talked about so far, knowing that I can help you solve XYZ problem, knowing that I can provide you and your team the value and the place that you're looking for it most, is it your intentions to do business with us? Is it your intention to sign up? Is it your intention to enroll? Would you like to get started today? There's lots of ways to ease into this close, and at the end of the day, we've got to ask. We can't build up all this rapport and not ask.
Because then that's not a fair exchange either. Of course, you're making these calls and you're connecting and you want to bring light into people's day. But if you do that all the time and never ask for what you want, you're also energetically damming the flow of the exchange of energy of the universe. Because if there is an opportunity for them to use your product or service and you see clearly with your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, I could totally help them with that. I could break them through, or I could solve this problem that they are suffering with right now, then it is your job to then walk them across the finish line and take the money, and because that is allowing them to actually get value out of it. Remember, the exchange of energy is not about you getting the money. It's about them investing in themselves and solving the problem with their hard-earned cash flow. Because if they don't, they won't respect it. And it's also giving them what we call, there's a esoteric spiritual teaching called the Kabbalah. And I'm sure everybody is familiar with it. But one of the things that they talk about is bread of shame. And basically, in the nutshell, is if you give and give and give and give and give, whether your product or service, your love, your attention, and you never receive back any sort of exchange of energy all the time, then you're actually damming the flow of that person's prosperity.
You got to fill up your bucket every once in a while.
So what I'm saying is that,
for some of us, we need to do it more often than not.
For example, the people that there's tons of statistics of people that have won the lottery where they purchase a ticket, they get all this universal force of energy
dumped on them,
and they don't have the capacity. They didn't earn it. They didn't do anything for it, and so they end up blowing it. They don't have the strategies to keep it. They end up becoming depressed, and it pretty much, we're all free from this. It shuts them down, and they end up going bankrupt, or sometimes even we're all free from this, suicide.
It's true.
So what happens when you do things for free all the time? There's always exception for something, and I'm a firm believer of giving without looking to receive, but I'm also a firm believer in charging what you're worth and allowing that transaction to happen for somebody to have the right to invest them in themselves. There's a lot of people that will have trouble investing in themselves, and so that is actually their spiritual process. And if you do not allow them to do that, have you ever had somebody that's like, okay, I want to give you money, but you're not allowing me to give money? That is your own money block.
That's a flow that you're actually damming the flow of your own receiving to be able to receive prosperity. And so what that does unconsciously is it will block the universal exchange of trying to give you more money from all kinds of other sources.
So let me give you another example. If my trainers had not had me invest $4,000 for my practitioner training back in 2011, first of all, I would have never shown up, and I wouldn't have gotten the transformation because I wouldn't have respected it. So there's something that you need to have happen, which is the exchange of energy, which you are facilitating that process for the people in the sales process. That is why it's spiritual, because they are investing their energy and time. Time is something that is the most precious on the earth, and the process of it, the exchange happens through money. And so by you charging what you're worth and asking for the order and having them invest in themselves, not you, you are facilitating this transformation. That's why we call sales as a spiritual process.
100% spiritual process. This is why this challenge has hopefully motivated some of us and inspired us to take the kind of necessary action to really go out and help the people we want to help and serve. It really isn't about us. It's about connecting with other people. So
get out there and close some transactions.
So definitely start asking, leaning into a little bit more of people's beliefs, because here's the thing, there's a lot of limiting beliefs. If you listen well enough, if you listen to their language, the gentleman I just got off the phone with just spouting limiting beliefs about how, oh, nobody's doing anything for 8 months. And I'm just like, you cannot tell me that in the development world of real estate, that people are just halting all projects. Like, the people that have money are going to be continue to move forward. The people that have private money behind them are moving forward on a lot of different projects. Even though, yes, our daily life has been affected in the normal habits and the way we go about our businesses, there's still a lot of people taking opportunity here and taking market share and expanding.
And if you don't do it, someone else will, and you'll be left behind. And I know that's away from motivated strategy, but it's reality.
We've been on long enough. We're going to leave you guys with some prosperity.
Go out there, close and receive
I'm
graciously.
excited to make some more calls today, because yesterday was amazing.
Yes. Give openly, receive graciously.
And remember to check your limiting beliefs at the door too. Remember to be careful that you're not spouting limiting beliefs. If you want to talk on the phone,
just connect with me, text me, and we can talk. I'm totally reframing.
That needs us to.
Yeah. So get out there, go take action.
# confidence to rise.
Yep.
You guys make Monday awesome. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. If you have questions, keep commenting, reach out, let us know.
Make sure that you post on your social pages. Make sure you support each other. Make sure that you're putting
reach out to each other if you need a boost in energy.
Exactly. And tag us.
Check your emails. Make sure the email's not going to spam as well.
Yes.
Awesome. We'll talk soon. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like our content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button below. We'll be posting videos every single week.
And if you want to learn more about NLP or a certification program or even performance coaching, come join us on our website at yagertraining.com, and you can find the link in the description below. We hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.